They did not call you crazy because you were wrong. They called you crazy because the truth you spoke had the power to destroy their entire illusion. And it did. They mocked what they could not comprehend. They laughed loud because their fear was louder. You stood alone in the fire, and they pointed fingers like cowards, hiding behind cheap labels. But look at them now. The same people who dismissed you cannot even look you in the eye. The same ones who said you have lost it are out here living in the wreckage of everything you predicted. Their fake logic crumbled. Their pride got torched, and your so-called delusions, they became headlines. You are not crazy. You are a mirror they could not shatter. Now imagine this for a moment. Chosen one, you walk into a room full of people wearing masks. You are the only one who sees the fire behind the wallpaper. You scream. It is going to collapse, and they all laugh, not because they know better, but because they are terrified you might be right. Then it collapses, exactly like you said it would. And those same people, ash-covered, silent, shaking, eyes wide, like they have seen a ghost. But the ghost was you all along. Here is a fact the world does not want to accept. History's greatest disruptors were always labeled insane, until reality bent and proved them right. Galileo looked at the sky and was dragged before inquisitors. Tesla died broke and ridiculed, holding blueprints the world was not ready to read. Malcolm stood in a hail of bullets for a truth so sharp it still cuts today. Joan of Arc burned for seeing what armies could not. All of them dragged through ridicule for seeing too clearly. You were not losing your mind. You were losing your tolerance for lies. You were waking up in a world that demanded you stay asleep, and you had the nerve to speak. Thank you, chosen one. If this message is already moving something in you, please take a second right now. Hit like and subscribe. You are part of a force, not just watching history shift, but causing it. And when you share this, you pass the torch to someone who needs it tonight. Back to it. They called you crazy because it was easier than admitting they were wrong. Easier than confronting their fragile little echo chambers. Easier than looking in the mirror and realizing you, the one they laughed at, gossiped about, excluded, and gaslit, were the one actually seeing things as they are. You cracked the matrix with your bare hands while they were busy reposting groupthink and calling it intelligence. You were never too much. You were too real for a system built on synthetic personalities and rented identities. You saw the lies in their smiles, the manipulation in their kindness, the agenda behind their advice. You saw the strings behind the puppet show and had the audacity to say, "Look, it is fake." And instead of thanking you, they branded you delusional. They said you had a vivid imagination. What you had was vision. You were not dreaming. You were decoding. You were not paranoid. You were perceptive. And now those same people are watching everything you warned them about detonate in real time. The relationships you called out, imploding. The systems you questioned, crumbling. The energies you warned them about, exposed. And suddenly, they are quiet. Real quiet. The silence of your enemies is the loudest apology you will never get. So next time someone calls you crazy, smile. Because in a world built on lies, that word is just code for you are not one of us, and that, chosen one, is the greatest compliment you could ever receive. Because you were not built to be one of them. You were built to expose them. And now, you have done exactly that. Drop the number 777 in the comments if you are done explaining yourself to people who cannot even explain their own existence. Stay locked in. Now, let us tear into this truth, step by step. If you are really the chosen one, something deep inside you already knows you need to stay until the very last word. Let us begin. Number 1. Your intuition was a loaded weapon. They just did not know it yet. They did not fear your ideas. They feared how calm you were when you said them. You were not flailing. You were not trying to convince anyone. You just knew, and nothing terrifies a crowd of pretenders more than someone standing in their truth without begging for validation. You spoke calmly, like the future had already happened in your mind. And now that it has, they are scrambling, acting shocked, like they did not hear the warning shots, but they did. They just thought ignoring you would make the prophecy go away. It did not. You were not guessing. You were tuned in, picking up frequencies the average mind could not handle. They laughed because they thought you were just sensitive, but let us call it what it is. You were spiritually armed. Your intuition was not some cute personality trait. It was a weapon, a blade honed in silence. Every time you walked into a room and said something that made people shift uncomfortably, you were slicing through illusion like butter. Imagine this, chosen one. You are standing in a pitch-black room. Everyone else is fumbling, bumping into walls, calling out for answers. But you have got night vision. You see every corner, every pattern, every shadow. And instead of thanking you for your sight, they accuse you of lying because they cannot see what you see. That is the game you were in. You had sight in a blindfolded society. Einstein once said, "Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds." That is not just a quote. That is your life story. Your intuition was not a lucky guess system. It was an ancient intelligence, a spiritual GPS, divine alignment, and you trusted it even when it made no sense on paper. That is the kind of faith that bends reality. You trusted energy over evidence. And now the evidence matches the energy you felt all along. They always knew you were not crazy. Deep down, they knew you were onto something. But accepting your truth meant dismantling their lie, and they were not ready for that. So they labeled you unstable to protect their comfort. But comfort does not age well in a collapsing system. Truth does. And you, chosen one, you are the truth they tried to bury. But truth does not die. It waits, it grows, and it comes back sharper, louder, undeniable. Your intuition is not a guess. It is a loaded weapon. And you are not just chosen. You are dangerous. Number 2. Your truth burned their lies alive. They did not go to war with you because you were loud. They went to war with you because your clarity was already tearing their illusions apart. You did not just speak the truth, you radiated it. It was in your presence, in your gaze, in the way you could walk into a room and immediately shift the energy, like someone turned the lights on in a room full of things that could not survive daylight. You did not need a microphone. Your presence was a mirror, a brutal, unfiltered, unflinching mirror. And when people looked into it, they saw everything they did not want to face. The fakeness, the fraud, the emptiness behind their curated smiles. Now imagine a room full of performers. Everyone in costume, playing their little roles, clapping on cue. Then you walk in, unscripted, unapologetic, unpredictable, and suddenly the play does not work anymore. The masks start slipping, the lines do not land, the illusion cracks. That is what your truth did. You were not part of the act. You were the glitch, the disruption, the one they could not rewrite. Your truth did not need approval to be true, it just was. And it burned everything false down to the ground. Every fake friendship, every toxic dynamic, every smile hiding a dagger. Your truth lit them up like gasoline on paper, and now they are standing in ashes, blaming you for the fire they started. They called your honesty negativity. They called your clarity aggression. Those are just codes for, "You made me uncomfortable, and now I have to deal with myself." That is their problem, not yours. Think about those who carried truth before you. Malcolm spoke it from pulpits they tried to burn. Rosa held it in a quiet refusal that shook an entire system. Not because they screamed, but because they stood, calm, clear, unshakable. Just like you, it is not about being loud. It is about being undeniable. And right now, chosen one, you are undeniable. Before we go further, if this message is already speaking to something deep inside you, if you feel something stirring in your chest, your support means everything to this work. There is a link in the description below and pinned in the comments where you can buy me a coffee. It is a small act that carries enormous weight. When you pour into something that pours into you, you open a channel of reciprocity between yourself and the universe. Every contribution, no matter how small, tells the universe you are ready to receive. Check the description and the comments for that link whenever you feel moved. Now, let us continue. Your truth scorched the earth and made it fertile again. You did not just burn their lies, you forced a new world to rise from the smoke. So if they still want to pretend you are too intense, too real, let them choke on the ashes of what they lost by pushing you away. Their fake world did not stand a chance against your truth, and now they know it. Number 3. They called you delusional, but you were just 10 steps ahead. They did not think you were crazy. They just could not imagine being that far behind. You did not see the world for what it was. You saw it for what it was becoming. And that scared the hell out of people who could not even process the present, let alone forecast the future. So instead of asking, "How do you know this?" they panicked and screamed, "You are crazy." But now that the vision is unfolding, frame by frame, where are they? Suddenly, the ones who laughed the loudest have nothing to say. Silence, cowardly, heavy silence, not a whisper of an apology, not a single ounce of accountability. Because admitting you were right would mean admitting they were blind. And fragile egos would rather choke than bow to the one they tried to bury. Every world changer in history was labeled insane before the world caught up. Van Gogh died without selling a painting, and now his canvases hang in the most powerful museums on earth. Tesla was stripped of his patents and his legacy, and now the most advanced vehicles on the planet carry his name. Muhammad Ali refused a war that was not his, and history placed him in the pantheon of the greatest who ever lived. Visionaries are not understood in real time. They are studied in hindsight. You were not predicting. You were remembering, downloading, channeling something higher. Your mind did not follow the herd. It ran ahead. The universe never asked you to prove anything. It just kept opening doors in divine timing, while your enemies stood behind closed ones, too busy gossiping to evolve. So let them call you delusional again, and watch as your next move makes them choke on it. Number 4. You saw through the curtain, and they hated you for it. They hated you not because you lied. They hated you because you noticed. You were not supposed to see it. You were supposed to play along, smile at the right time, clap when told, nod your head at the script like it made sense. But you paused. You looked around, and like a glitch in the system, you saw through the whole thing. The fake smiles, the empty success, the social games, the manipulation. You pulled back the curtain and saw the puppeteers behind the scenes. Insecure, power-hungry, plastic souls running the show for a blind audience. And when you exposed it, they hated you. Because in a world of illusions, clarity is rebellion. Your awakening exposed their sleep. Your presence reminded them they settled. Your truth threatened to wake the others. So they turned on you, whispered about you, isolated you. Not because you were wrong, because you were right too soon. The universe backed every download you received. Every time you said something's off, it was. Every time you felt this is not real, it was not. You were not paranoid. You were precise. They hated you for seeing, but now they are squinting through the cracks you left behind, desperate to understand what you saw all along. Number 5. They tried to cancel you, but you cannot silence fire. They wanted to erase you, wipe you out like a glitch in their manufactured reality. The smear campaigns were not casual. The whispers behind your back were not just gossip, they were warfare. Because when you refused to bow, they panicked. You did not play the social game, did not shut up when told, did not dilute your energy just to make people comfortable. So they branded you toxic, unhinged, too intense. But let us be clear. It was not your flaws that scared them. It was your flame. You burned too bright. That is all it was. And weak people hate what they cannot dim. Canceling you, impossible. Because how do you cancel a soul forged in divine fire? You were not built on public opinion. You were not held up by trends or applause. You were held up by purpose. That is why every attempt to destroy you backfired. Every knife in your back taught you how to fly higher. Every fake friend turned into a footnote in your legend. Every enemy became fuel, because energy is energy, and you transmuted it all. They waited until your light started attracting attention. That is when the claws came out, because deep down they knew, once people saw you clearly, you would be unstoppable. But it was too late. Your truth had already lit the match, and fire spreads. You cannot cancel what is cosmic. You cannot silence someone who speaks on frequencies louder than words. You cannot mute destiny. Let them try again. Let them whisper. You are still glowing, still speaking, still creating shockwaves just by standing in your truth. Because when the universe backs you, no army of cowards can drown your flame. Number 6. You threatened their safe little lies. They did not call you the problem because you were wrong. They called you the problem because you unplugged from their delusion and took others with you. That was the real threat. You became the virus in their illusion program. The moment you started pulling people out of the fog they were clinging to, that is when it turned into war. They did not panic because you were crazy. They panicked because you were contagious. Their control relied on silence. Your voice violated that rule. Their status depended on ignorance. Your questions shattered that setup. And when they could not manipulate you, they tried to isolate you, exile you, pretend you did not exist. But they forgot something. You do not need their stage. You are the message. The universe gave you reach they cannot block, because truth does not need permission to echo. You woke people up, and once someone sees, they cannot unsee. That is your power. If you feel that this work has poured into your life and you want to pour something back, there is a link in the description below and pinned in the first comment where you can support this channel. It does not have to be much. It is the heart behind it that matters. Your generosity seeds your own harvest. When you give into the work that speaks life into you, the universe takes notice. So, If you feel led, go to that link now. Every offering is seen and honored. Now, let us keep going. So, let them keep calling it disruption. That is not disruption. That is evolution. And you, chosen one, are the signal they cannot silence. Number 7. Now that the truth hit, they are in full retreat. They mocked your warnings until the storm arrived. Now they are pretending they never stood outside holding umbrellas made of denial. This is what poetic justice looks like. The same people who laughed at your gut feelings and rolled their eyes at your insight are now quietly backing away from the mess they created, wiping tracks, deleting old words, rewriting history like you cannot remember the way they used to talk to you. But the truth has memory, and it does not fade, and neither do you. You gave them grace, you gave them warnings, you tried to spare them the crash. But arrogance does not listen to intuition. It mocks it. Now, look who is quiet. Look who is deleting entire timelines out of shame. Look who is praying that people forget how confident they once were in calling you wrong. But the universe does not erase receipts. It collects them. Every time you were doubted, dismissed, or laughed at, it was logged. And now the energy has flipped. You have stepped into your power, and they are the ones ducking from the light. Truth does not chase, it exposes, and it just exposed them. You did not need revenge, chaos, or drama. You just needed to stay real. The universe handled the rest. Because when you are aligned, the truth fights your battles for you. That is why you are calm now. You do not need to say, "I told you so." Reality already said it for you. You were never crazy, you were chosen. And chosen ones do not chase validation. They attract revelation. Number 8. You were the antidote to their mental prison. They mocked the cure while worshipping the sickness. And now they are whispering your name every time the truth starts to burn through their denial. You were not crazy. You were the antidote, the living glitch that exposed how robotic their minds had become, the freethinker in a factory of mental clones. And that terrified them because nothing scares a prisoner more than someone who found the key. They were addicted to trends, titles, validation, and fake peace. You walked away from all of that and said, "There is something better." They did not want better. They wanted familiar. They wanted numb. But slowly, the cracks spread. The beliefs they mocked you for rejecting, they are questioning them now. The systems you called out as traps, they are realizing they were in them the whole time. And whose voice do they keep hearing when everything they built starts to crumble? Yours, the crazy one, the one they dismissed like background noise. Now that voice is echoing in their head, calm, certain, prophetic. They mocked your mind when it scared them. Now they return to it because it freed them. The universe used you as the antidote, and they never saw it coming. Number 9. Your presence was a glitch in the system. You were not part of the program. You were the system error they could not debug. From day one, you never fit. Not because something was wrong with you, but because everything was wrong with the script, the rules, the robotic way people moved through life, obeying, performing, surviving, never questioning, never feeling. And then you showed up. You walked in like the main character in a play that was falling apart. Your very existence was a contradiction to their illusion. You were not malfunctioning. You were revealing the malfunction. You did not go with the flow. You were the flood. Your presence made people look at their beliefs, their values, their routines, and realize none of it was theirs to begin with. They were running on autopilot, and you hit the emergency brake. Now the system is glitching. People are questioning, the curtain is falling, and suddenly everything about you makes perfect sense. The universe never sent you here to blend in. It sent you to interrupt. You were never a glitch in the code. You were the beginning of a brand new system. Number 10. They woke up, and you are the one who lit the fuse. You did not just trigger their awakening, you ignited it. You were the fuse, the fire starter, the match that lit their mental dynamite. And it was not always your words that did it. Sometimes it was the look in your eye. Sometimes it was the way you walked away without begging. Sometimes it was the fact that you did not explain yourself. That is what haunted them. People do not wake up from comfort. They wake up from contrast. And you, chosen one, were the contrast. While they were sleepwalking through life, regurgitating trends, recycling opinions, running the same loops, you were breaking patterns, questioning things they never dared to ask, glowing in rooms full of dimmed lights. Your growth did not just inspire them, it shamed them. Not because you tried to, but because your progress revealed their stagnation, and now they are waking up. The same people who rolled their eyes are now revisiting your words. The same people who called you arrogant are quoting you in private. The same ones who avoided you are suddenly orbiting your energy again, drawn, confused, humbled, because they remember. You were the ignition point. You did not force anyone to wake up. You simply existed in truth long enough for it to echo. That is power. That is legacy. That is you. Number 11. They laughed at the underdog. Now they are watching a ruler rise. They underestimated you because your crown was not visible yet. You were not loud. You were not desperate. You were not chasing status. You were crafting legacy, silently, patiently, like a storm building over the ocean while everyone's partying on the shore. And now that storm has arrived, that ruler has risen. And the joke, it is on them. You did not want attention. You wanted impact. While they were flexing for approval, you were in the shadows, mastering your lane. You were preparing to lead. The underdog role was never a setback. It was a setup. It kept you hungry, grounded, focused, while they got lazy thinking they were already on top. But now the tides have flipped. The one they laughed at is the one they are studying. You became the blueprint. The evidence that raw truth, consistency, and alignment will always outrun performance and popularity. You did not rise by playing their game. You built your own board. You turned silence into strategy, pain into purpose, rejection into rocket fuel. They laughed because they mistook humility for weakness. Now they are quiet because they see that humility was just undeniable power under construction. This is not revenge. This is royalty awakening. And the ruler you have become is not here to fit in. You are here to reign. Number 12. You were built different. And now they finally see it. They called it luck. The universe called it alignment. You did not change. You activated. You were never built to fit into their idea of normal. You were engineered to break patterns, rewrite codes, and stand out without even trying. From the beginning, you carried a rare combination of vision, endurance, and raw truth that could not be duplicated. You were not reacting like they expected. You were not breaking where they wanted you to. You were learning, upgrading, becoming something they could not define, and that terrified them. You were never supposed to be understood by those who settled for mediocrity. Your transformation was not cosmetic. It was a frequency shift. You healed the wounds they tried to reopen. You built strength out of silence, wisdom out of betrayal, peace out of chaos. And the result, you radiate something they cannot fake. Authentic power. They used to laugh at your discipline, They used to call your intuition overthinking, but now they are watching that process pay off. They cannot look away because your evolution exposes their stagnation. You are walking proof that purpose always outlasts popularity. The same people who said you were delusional are now studying your every move, hoping to copy what cannot be cloned. Because what you have is not aesthetic. It is alchemical. You did not just glow up, you transmuted. Your spirit burned through every version of yourself that was not real, and what is left is unstoppable. The universe did not choose you because you were perfect. It chose you because you were resilient enough to evolve. So let them stare, let them whisper, let them try to decode you. You are not a trend. You are a transmission. You did not make it out. You became the way out. You were built different for a reason. And now, finally, even your enemies cannot deny it. And now that the truth has landed, sharp, loud, and undeniable, it is time we let the world feel it. This is not just a story about being called crazy. This is about what happens when the universe chooses someone. And no amount of mockery, silence, or sabotage can stop that rise. They laughed, they doubted, they scattered, but you, chosen one, you are still here, glowing, grunted glorious. This mission is not just a message, it is a movement. If this message struck your soul, drop the number 777 in the comments to show you are fully awake. Like, subscribe, and share this with another warrior out there. Every time you share, you hand someone a key they have been looking for their whole life. The light is spreading because of you. And if this work has poured something real into your life, consider pouring something back. The link is in the description below and pinned in the comments. Buy a coffee. Seed what feeds you. The universe sees every act of reciprocity, and it answers, you were never a glitch in the code. You were the beginning of a brand new system. You are the chosen one. And the world, it is finally starting to catch up.